Mia Bowen's interview. Take one.
Hi Mia,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm good.
Do you want to tell me a bit about yourself?
Well, I am 20 years old. I live in Hazelbank. I have,
Dogs.
how many siblings do I have? Sugar. I have 4 siblings, and I live with my mother, and I'm studying music at the Tech.
Is that good?
It is very
Okay.
good. It's great because it's more practical than theory stuff and academic stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it's funner to do creative like subjects than it is
Yeah.
to do the other ones, in my opinion. I suppose.
Right, we'll get right into it. Do you ever feel like maybe you don't fit in?
Yes.
Do you want to tell me about that?
Right.
How would that affect you or make
Right.
you feel?
I suppose, right. So, for a wee bit of background story, I, all 4 of my siblings, we're not like full siblings, we're like half siblings, so I am the only person of color in my family. So, like, growing up, I would get a lot of questions like, are you adopted, or things like that there, just because the fact that I have an older sibling and then 3 younger siblings, and I'm, like, kind of the one in the middle, who is like it kind of stands out, I suppose. So growing up, there would be like a lot of like comments on that and things like, "Oh no, you're definitely adopted," things like that. Because people and children especially will like pick fun at things that stand out because it's like anything abnormal or like out of the out of the ordinary, or out the I don't know what you would call it, but I suppose it just makes you stick out more.
Would you say that really affected you? Like, did it kind of make you feel alienated and stuff?
Yeah, it really did. Like, I suppose when I was younger, it affected me more than it would now, because now, like, I sort of express that more and be like, well, that's just a part of who I am. That's not something that was decided or anything. So, but, like, I suppose in the past, growing up, it would be like, it's not fair. How come everybody else, not looks the same, but, like, they're all similar and all, and I, like, am an outside, like, I suppose I felt like an outsider for a lot of things, like, because, like, I looked different, so I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna get treated different because of things like that and all, like, just stuff like that.
So then you'd say in school maybe it was a bit harder to fit in because
Yeah,
of the way people would have treated
definitely.
you and stuff?
And I suppose children especially, they can be ignorant without meaning to be. So, like, kids would be like, they kind of have their wee groups and things and all, but, like, I'd always sort of just linger about and keep to myself,
So you
because
say
it
you
was
wouldn't have
easier.
fit
I wouldn't have fit it in with, like,
And then
like,
did that
things like
carry on
that.
to like secondary school and stuff?
Yeah, it definitely did. I'd say probably up until, like, well, in secondary school, from first to third year, I was like in a class with people who I didn't know and all, and I'd say, like, throughout those 3 years, the only friend that I truly made was a girl called, and she was also like stood out a lot. She was from Hungary, so, like, we sort of like stuck together for like a year, but then she moved back to Hungary, so then it was just kind of back to square one of like making no progress with trying to like fit in with other people and all, just kind of feeling alienated, if you know what I mean.
When you came to the Tech, are they like, do you fit in better in your class now? Or?
Yeah, I feel like it's like as I got older, I'm finding more people who not also don't fit in, but like are more open-minded to like the idea of not everything's always going to be the same, not everybody's going to look the same or dress the same, or just things like that. People come from different backgrounds.
And then, because obviously you do dress different as well, so
yeah, I suppose there's that as well.
yeah.
It's like in the past it would be like, I don't like sticking out just because I look different, like because of my skin color or my hair, or like people will just like look because of that. So then it's like, now if they're gonna look, may as well give them the reason to look anyway, you know what I mean? Kind of like that. So then it's like, I just express myself and stop caring as much as like how other people will perceive me or things like that, because at the end of the day, it's not like their opinion matters. So
would you say now that you are like, you fit into society and stuff, or do you still feel very much outcast and isolated?
yeah, I wouldn't say that I fit in to society, but I feel like I've definitely found more people who accept me for who I am, rather than having to try to fit in or go by like a certain like standard or something like that,
Would you have any, like, what's your worst experience of maybe not fitting in?
Well, I suppose, I don't know if it really counts, but when I was in like primary 4, right? I had a crush on this boy called, and you know, when they have crushes and all, and it's like, but I feel like there was, like, that would be a moment especially because this wee boy, his reason for not liking me back was because he didn't like people of color. So like
Yeah.
things like that definitely stuck with me for like a long time after, because it was like, no, I can't like anybody because they're not gonna like me because I look different, or because I am not, you know, your average image of a dairy wee girl, I suppose. You know what I mean?
No, I
So,
definitely get where you're coming from, because growing up I was a bigger child, so then I was asked out as a joke, so I know where you're
Yeah.
coming from.
So like I feel like that definitely had an impact on my views of like that, like, you know, feeling like you don't fit in, things like that.
And then would that have, you've obviously grown out of that and you know that like that's not a thing. No.
Yeah, like, well, I've definitely like grown out of like the idea that I have to, you know, like, I'm definitely not gonna find anyone because I look different. But I feel like it's definitely probably still like lingered as like an, you know, like insecurities just like build off things. So suppose there's some things that you never,
it just sticks with you.
some things probably just stick more than other things.
Would you have any advice out there for people who maybe also feel like they don't fit in, maybe based on your experiences or just in general?
Well, I'd say that, again, at the end of the day, the only opinion that really matters or should matter is your own. And no two people are the same, so it's not like you can, unless you're like literally identical twins, I suppose those people are kind of the same. But everybody is different in one way or another, and there is no like specific quality that makes somebody better or worse than anybody else. So you should just try to learn to accept yourself for who you are, so that things like other people's opinions or other people's standards or biases or anything like don't play a part on how you view yourself or how you view the things that you can do or things like that. Like, don't limit yourself to what, don't limit yourself to, I suppose, just trying to fit in with other people. Just kind of focus on yourself.
Yeah. So you would say just work on yourself, and in time you will find people?
Yeah, like you'll find people who will accept you for who you are, so don't try to change yourself or to like live up to somebody else's standard.
Yeah.
Because that'll just end in emotional turmoil, I suppose. Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
I guess, do you have anything else you want to say? Any final words for the camera?
I don't know, stay in school or something.
Stay in school.
I don't know.
Okay, and that's it. Thank you very much for doing my interview today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Yeah, and cut.